Welcome to Cycle Breakers and Moneymakers, a podcast for women of color and first gen who are breaking generational cycles and glass ceilings by going places no one before them has ever gone. I'm your host, leadership coach, and eldest daughter of immigrants, Mariela De La Mora. I left a 16-year marketing career to create a multiple six-figure-a-year coaching business as a single mom. Each week, you'll learn how to build unshakable self-trust, become in demand, lead with confidence, and make more money by being more of who you are. Hey everyone! Okay, so today, doors open to Reclamation Mastermind, and I'm so excited. I feel like I've literally been waiting for this for 6 months. And so in today's episode, if you've even been thinking about joining, if you're wondering, who's it for? Is it for me? How is it different? What can I expect? What sort of goals do people work on in this program? This episode is for you. So as of the date that this episode comes out, Wednesday, November 29th is when the doors open. Today is also going to be the Double Your Demand workshop where I'm going to talk about how to double your demand with thought leadership by doing less, because I am a person who has a lot going on as a single parent. And I've had to really create my own way of growing the most peaceful and profitable business possible that allows room for life, that allows me to be inconsistent, that allows me to really center my own mental health and my own peace, but yet serve my clients at the biggest level possible, to be able to, support myself and my daughter, to be able to make the biggest impact in my own life and in my community. So today we're going to talk more about what is Reclamation Mastermind, what makes Reclamation different, why is thought leadership at the center? And then I'm going to walk you through 5 goals that people tend to have, or areas of focus when they come into Reclamation, so that you can kind of see which ones of those apply to you. You certainly can have more than one of them. I tend to kind of advise that you have no more than 3, but I'll walk through those 5. And then I'm just going to talk you through here's exactly how it works, what is going to happen, talk to you about the live event, all those things. So Reclamation is the mastermind for women of color and first gen who want to become in-demand thought leaders without sacrificing your peace, without sacrificing your time. You're going to develop the mindset, the marketing, and the leadership skills for you to have a booked out 6 or multiple 6-figure business. But most importantly, that you actually enjoy running, that you don't have your whole identity attached to your business, that you are able to navigate the highs and lows. You are able to navigate life while growing and sustainably profiting in your business. What I like to call without doing the most. What I mean by you don't have to be a different person to run your business is because for the longest time, I thought that there's no way that I could make more than a certain amount because I felt like I had too many things working, quote unquote, against me. Number one being that, I am a single parent and I'm a sole provider for my daughter. And we live in one of the most expensive cities in the United States of San Francisco, second only to Manhattan. And, I also felt like I wasn't organized enough. I am not a type A person. And I also felt like most of the time I was going through something, with whether it's my healing journey or my mental health or my ADHD, which I realized last year I was diagnosed with, right? So I just felt like business just felt exceptionally hard. And I felt like I was never seen fully. Even when I was coached, I'd always have to take that and apply it to my circumstances where, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. On a Sunday night, I'm exhausted. Monday morning was the first, minute that I would have to myself a lot of the time. So what I mean by growing a peaceful, profitable 6 or multiple 6-figure business without doing the most means you do not have to be a type A person who content batches, right? Or time batches. Most of my clients have ADHD. You don't have to have a ton of time to dedicate to your business. Many of my clients have kids or they have a part-time job. You also don't have to have a big team. Because of this peace and profit first approach that I've always taken, I always think about how to keep our overhead lean and not throw a bunch of team members. And I say this also as a leadership coach. I've been a leadership coach for the entire time I've been a coach. And I really look at okay, if you don't need to run a big team, you can literally get to 250K, 300K with one team member. I had one team member who worked 8 hours a week, right? And you also don't have to post every day. I share this a lot that like I only posted on the grid on Instagram. This is the only platform I've used 3 times a month for my first 500K in 2.5 years, right? So Reclamation, in terms of who it's for, it is for entrepreneurs who have made at least $25,000 in the last 12 months, because that lets me know that you have an offer that you are clear on, that you know how to create demand for, and now you are ready to scale that demand. It is also for people who rely on their personal brand to make money or to earn commission. Like if you are a realtor, for example, you work for a company, but a big part of your money comes from commission, because thought leadership is how you make more money doing those things. Instead of just talking about the thing you do, like selling houses, or if you're a fitness instructor or something like that, and you are responsible for that, your personal brand and your thought leadership help make you money. And it is also for those who are leading a team. So I've got agency owners as well that I've coached, and people don't often talk about like the identity shift that goes along with that and how you really have to develop leadership skills at a different level and emotional intelligence and all of that. So it's also for you. I'm going to tell you a little more about like what makes Reclamation Mastermind different. It is truly focused on the needs, the desires, and the lived experiences of women of color and first gen. Meaning, I don't just say I serve women of color, like I look at how your needs are different and how you're all different individually, but like how are your needs different from someone who isn't a woman of color or who isn't first gen? And how can I make sure that we turn those into strengths, right? And looking at those things that you need. It's also different because I created it and I am a lifelong marketer. So we have a much more expansive view on what marketing means. So when I say marketing, I don't mean Instagram. I don't mean even social media. I was a marketer. I became a marketer before there was social media. So I'm always thinking about partnerships, collaborations, visibility, different communities. Like where could you go to connect with your people that isn't social media, right? And not everybody has to do that. But I really, for us to build a sustainable business, we really have to think about where are our people at? That isn't, sometimes it's, yes, it's social media partially, but I want you to think bigger than that. And you will in Reclamation. What also makes it different is we have a big focus on sustainability. So meaning like, how could you make every stage that you're at feel as peaceful and profitable as possible before you kind of go on to the next step? And we do that through mindset and strategy that is repeatable, that will help you amplify what is working for you so that you're not doing more, you're just doing more of what works. It also was designed by me with a breadwinner reality in mind, meaning for those of you who are like, I need to make a living off of my business, like this, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, or I want to become a full-time entrepreneur, but I have a 6-figure job or a multiple 6-figure job. That is I don't care what anybody says, it is different to plan to leave your job when you are making 6 or multiple 6 figures, because you are having to replace income at another level. We're talking about health insurance. We're talking about you got to pay a mortgage. We talk about health insurance for your kids. Like it is different when you have a job, a career that you are making a lot of money in and you're trying to go full time. And I did it. I was a marketing director. The roles in the market baseline for me, including bonuses and, health insurance and all those things were like $250,000 jobs. So for me, reaching a $250,000 cash, which I've already done, was like my baseline, right? So we design with the high earning breadwinner reality in mind. And also with the money mindset and the scarcity that can crop up, especially like those are things I constantly have to work through as a single parent. Right? We also design the approaches within Reclamation and like what you will be doing with the needs of people with part-time jobs or with kids, meaning that like, I don't assume that you can just wake up in the morning and like meditate or that you have weekends to yourself. Like your energy is going to be spent in a lot of different places. And even if it's not, like you want to be present with your family. So that's another thing that makes it different. It's also different because we teach nervous system regulation within the program. There is a course, but we also have nervous system support through a trained somatic and nervous system coach, Yudi, who is also in the mastermind herself, but also is the nervous system coach. You cannot scale without getting your nervous system on board. It is essentially getting your brain and body on the same team. So we have full support in that area as well. That is something that absolutely changed my life. Nervous system regulation and somatic coaching, still doing it to this day, every Wednesday, all last year. every single week. That is what allowed me to grow my business. And people do not talk about that often enough. For you to feel safe to do the things you want to do, to make the decisions you want to make, feel safe to hold the clients, feel safe to hold the money, feel safe to make the bigger investments. It is so, so, so important. So nervous system regulation, that is literally the reason that it is in the mastermind, is because it was such an integral part of my growth. It's also different because I bring a leadership coaching lens from being an actual leader of teams in corporate for years and years and years, doing the hiring, doing the development, doing the, figuring out how to find the most talented people on a team. And for you to develop those leadership skills too, as your job description literally changes. When you have a team member, your job description changes. It's no longer your job to do the thing. It's your job to set the policies, make the decisions, delegate better, all those different things, right? So as a certified emotional intelligence leadership coach, I'm also bringing that lens to you so that you are becoming a better leader, not just to your team and your company, but also to yourself. Okay. So with that, I want to tell you why thought leadership is at the center of Reclamation. The reason thought leadership is at the center is because that is what actually attracts things to you. Thought leaders stand out. They are saying something unlike anybody else has said, right? So this is part of the attraction, part of the demand comes from thought leadership. And my clients want to be known for more than their offers. And the other thing about that is thought leadership is essentially your personal brand as a CEO, just as an individual, right? So you could pivot, you could sell whatever you want and people will still eat it up because they are your fans and followers. Like they believe in your thought leadership. So your personal brand behind that, your thought leadership behind that is always going to be intact, no matter what your business looks like down the road. Even if you decided to sell your business, you still will always have your thought leadership. And that's what attracts clients. It's what attracts speaking opportunities. It also allows you to charge a premium, meaning 5 figures. You need thought leadership to have a 5-figure offer, or you need to have stellar client results. And even to get those clients, you still need an element of thought leadership. If I think about every single person I've ever hired, especially people who I've joined their masterminds who are 5-figure offers or above, my rebrand that I did recently, which was a $15K investment, a $25K investment that I made last week recently, were all thought leaders. Like I look at them and they weren't just trying to appeal to everybody. Like I could repeat back things that they believed that not everybody would agree with, but they were the reason that I hired them or decided to work with them. So I cannot overstate the importance of thought leadership when it comes to people being like, you're the person that I want to work with, period. So let's talk about why people join and the goals that it will help you achieve. There are several, but I'm going to go in order from the kind of the foundational in terms of mindset, all the way up to creating demand, to sustaining demand, and leadership skills. And again, you could and probably will have more than one of these coming into Reclamation. And the reason that I share this with you is because essentially this is going to help you determine, is this for me? How is it going to help me? And whether or not this is like aligned with what you're looking for. So one of the foundational pieces is really just the mindset, the leadership mindset. So becoming a more confident CEO who has unshakable self-trust, who really sees themselves as a leader, who really sees themselves as an expert and acts like it. Someone who's able to bounce back, someone who's able to make decisions faster, someone whose identity and emotional state is not completely tied up in their business. Like you are someone who is a strong leader, just unshakable, and you're able to show up for yourself and you're able to really just do the things that you need to do. And I would say that every single person, even if this isn't your goal, it becomes your goal when you get what you want. Meaning like when your business grows, this becomes more important because even getting what you want can be scary, right? It becomes about how can I maintain this? How can I support and hold more clients, more money, all those different things. So I call it leadership mindset, but really it is like how you show up for yourself and how you're able to be the person who continues to create the results that you want to create without, sacrificing your peace. So part of how we'll do that in the mastermind, there's a couple of things. So one is I have a framework called belief bookmarking, which is how you will bottle up and create evidence of the identity that you actually have and the person that you're becoming. And how can you bottle that up and continuously come back to that so that you can expand your window of self-belief. And this is something that I developed from being gaslit essentially and not being able to, trust myself. So we will create a system where you are leaving voice memos to yourself or you're screenshotting things that your clients have said to you, like different things like that. And so you're able to come back to it. Number two of how we help you develop the leadership mindset is through nervous system regulation. So part of that is feeling safe to take the actions that you want to take in your business, feeling safe to receive the things that your mind wants you to receive, but your body or your nervous system may not feel safe to receive. So that's number one, is leadership mindset, becoming a stronger leader with unshakable self-trust across the board. So I'd say whether or not you say this is your goal, this is everybody's goal coming into the mastermind, because it will support everything that you are creating. And we have neuroscience-based methods of doing this. We have nervous system-based methods of doing this. So this is truly, truly developing this at the core. This isn't just self-coaching. This isn't just affirmations, right? And number two goal that it supports is creating demand. Just creating demand for clients that want to work with you, creating demand to be a speaker. And we do that through getting very clear on what are the unmet needs or the gaps that you solve for. We get clear on what is your thought leadership behind it. And then we help you become more visible with that. So I have specific approaches on getting booked out and creating demand depending on where you are now. So I have different suggestions for you depending on whether or not you, for example, right now, let's say you are attracting clients through referrals and renewals, but not through your own marketing. I have suggestions for you there. If you've hit an income ceiling or a plateau and you can't get past it, I have suggestions for you there. If you have inconsistent sales, meaning that you'll land clients back to back or sales calls back to back, and then you'll have a dry spell, I know what's happening there as well. So I have something for you there. Also, approaches on creating demand and booking out could be when things are going well and you want to continue that momentum, or you're at capacity and things have been going well, like you're at capacity and you want to feel safe to continue to grow your income without burning out. I have different suggestions for you there within the program. So all of that is part of creating demand, but it's important to look at what's been working, what hasn't, and then magnify or amplify from there. So I have different suggestions and different plans and different tools that I suggest to each person depending on where they are. And so that's number two. Creating demand and booking out is the second goal that it helps with. Number three, maintaining demand while preparing for a more scalable way to serve your community. This is a delicate little handoff here because what I see a lot, and the pattern that many of us fall into, is this feast or famine, which is where you have all these clients and then you get overwhelmed, like things are going well, you get overwhelmed and you stop marketing and then you let the contracts run out. And then you may not even be thinking about renewals or any of those things. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I need to start marketing because I don't have any clients. And so that doesn't help you scale past that because all you're doing is constantly replenishing your book of business. We actually will, this is part of how I've had to do this because it's like, okay, I'm making a certain amount of money. And then I was booked out for years and years and years. At a certain point, the whole first half of this year, I had 14 private clients and I had a mastermind, right? So I was like, okay, the money's coming in and this is great, but this also isn't sustainable. So I really had to do this in a way where I was able to kind of pass the baton from one offer to the next and not totally let go of one and then go to the other, but to do this in a way that considered my nervous system for me not to freak out, that considered my reserves to make sure I wasn't running out of money, and that I had to continuously pay myself, right? I have to pay myself a 6-figure salary. I pay myself. I'm on my own payroll. I have to pay myself a 6-figure salary to be a single parent in San Francisco, right? That's not light work, right? So maintaining demand while preparing for a scalable way or a scalable offer is important because you need to do this with that in mind. So some things that we will do at this stage is your marketing will need to get more specific. So at this point, we're looking at breaking down your ideal clients into more specific ones and different categories that they fall into. What unanswered questions do they have? What specific desires do they have? That helps you to start to figure out okay, what am I scaling out of the different archetypes that I serve? Which archetypes am I scaling an offer for? Because it's not all of them. It's typically not all of them, right? We also will look at how can you focus on renewals and repeat clients rather than trying to attract new clients, because renewing doesn't take as much effort. You just have people that are renewing with you, so you're not out there having to market. So if you can just quietly stay booked out or quietly reduce your private client capacity, for example, or your capacity in a certain offer and cut that in half and start shifting your focus and energy to a more scalable way of serving them, it's so much easier when you have retention. So we talk about client retention, how to plan a path so that retention is inevitable and easy for your clients to just say yes to, of course, to continue to work with you, right? We also will look at hiring because hiring needs to happen. We do this in a very simple way. It does not need to take forever. This is something I've literally coached my clients on for years and years and years. I hired and had to create my own hiring systems in corporate for years and years and years because I was hiring my own people. So I was looking at the results of me making a good or a bad hire, right? So I have a system to help you with hiring without doing the most, right? So we will prepare you at a time that you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you don't have time to hire. I will help you with that. And also during this time, maintaining demand while preparing to scale also requires increasing your rates strategically so that you can increase your capacity, right? So that's another thing that we do. I'll help you kind of decide when you're ready to do that. And in raising your price, essentially being able to create space on your calendar to scale. That was number 3, maintaining demand while preparing to scale. Number 4, fourth goal is you want to become an industry thought leader. You join Reclamation because you want to become truly, truly, truly an industry thought leader. And not just for marketing, not just because it you want to look good, but because you truly are I care about this. This is what I believe. I really believe that this is needed in the market and people are serving it in this way, but this is what I see is missing. And you want to serve for that missing piece and you want to be an advocate for your community for that missing piece. That's what gets you on podcasts, on stages, continuously without you having to pitch. So Reclamation with goal number 4, become an industry thought leader. You will attract speaking opportunities, visibility opportunities. You will attract higher level clients because higher level clients who are willing and expecting to pay you more are going to expect thought leadership and not just on your own platforms. That is very important. Not just on your own platforms, not just on your podcast, not just on your webpage, not on that. They're going to expect third-party credibility, meaning if I Google your name or I look and see where have you spoken, they need to find something. That is important, especially as you're working towards a 5-figure offer, right? So we have steps and plans for that as well. We look at building up your third-party cred. We look at what is the movement that you're creating? How are you advocating for your community through your thought leadership specifically? And how is that demonstrated in your actions? And we help you craft sellable stories and visibility to bring that movement and that, being that advocate in a way that serves more people. So we help you craft your sellable stories. We help you create a visibility plan and build up your third party cred. That's number 4, if you want to become an industry thought leader that just attracts demand and speaking. Number 5, which is the final goal. And there's, like I said, there's others, but these are kind of the main 5 people come to me for, is you want to become a better, calmer, more grounded leader as you scale. This is especially true if you have more than one team member. So I am a certified emotional intelligence coach, and we will really look at those actual skills of how you manage stress, how you problem solve, your reality testing. Do you see things in reality, like when you're stressed out, whether or not your empathy is getting in the way, whether or not your impulsivity helped you get here, but now your impulsivity is causing problems in the business. We will actually break this down and look at your emotional intelligence skills and look at how what got you here won't get you there. So it's like being able to take this assessment, looking at, what comes up is important because I've done this with leaders at huge tech companies. I've worked with clients who have, 7 or multiple 7-figure businesses. And a lot of what unravels them really is their emotions. And it's not that we don't want to feel our emotions. It's just that it's really understanding how are your emotions affecting your actions? How are they affecting your perception of reality? How are they affecting the way that you're leading? Emotional intelligence is everything. So this is a huge, huge part of what I do because like I said, I've worked with clients who have 50 people on their team and work for the United Nations. I've had clients who work for gigantic tech companies, and have these huge teams. So there's a lot riding on it, and you will become a stronger leader by joining Reclamation. So to recap the goals, number 1 is leadership mindset, just becoming a more confident leader with unshakable self-trust. Number 2 is creating demand and getting booked out, no matter the circumstance. I have broken down different circumstances, like where your clients have come from, what's working, what isn't, so that you can amplify that. Number 3, maintaining demand while preparing to scale. Number 4 is being seen truly as an industry thought leader who is in demand to speak and is in demand by clients and who attracts higher level clients. Number 5 is becoming a better, more grounded leader as you scale through emotional intelligence. All right. Now that y'all have got all this, I hope that helped you figure out like, okay, this is me. That's what I want. I can see how the program's going to help. And obviously, even then, schedule a sales call with me, because in your application, I'm going to look at everything that you shared and I'm going to say, okay, let me ask you some follow-up questions. This is interesting. Can you tell me more about this? And I'm literally going to diagnose what I see as being like the main areas of focus that you would have within Reclamation and of how you would use the mastermind, the community, me personally, the things that you would ask for coaching on. So we're going to, on this call, look at your goals, look at what you're struggling with, or look at what you're trying to create, because not all my clients are in a struggly place. They're just like, okay, things have been going well, and now I want this. So we're going to go through all of that on the sales call, right? From this point, this is what I want you to do. Apply for Reclamation, schedule a call with me, schedule it by this Friday, December 1st at 10 p.m. Pacific. If you want, and you do want this, if you want access to the 5-figure fast track group VIP day. So I will tell you a little bit more about that later, but that is a huge bonus that I've never taught. This is going to literally fast track you so that you can create demand as if you had a 5-figure offer, even if you don't have one now. So that's going to change the way you sell all your offers, right? Schedule a call by Friday, December 1st. We don't need to actually have the call by the 1st. Like you and I don't need to meet by the 1st, but you need to schedule it by the 1st. And then we could meet the following week and we'll have the call. And then I'll be able to kind of, like I said, go through your application. I'll tell you what it is, how I think I can help you and the mastermind can help you. Otherwise, the doors close to enrollment for Reclamation on Tuesday, December 12th. But you really, if you want to get in and you're even thinking about it, schedule your call by Friday, December 1st. Other key dates is that the mastermind itself kicks off the second full week of February, and it goes for 12 months so that you have plenty of time without the rush to be able to hit all your goals. We also, in terms of key important dates, we have a live event, which I call a retreat, that is going to be in La Condesa, Mexico City, Saturday, February 3rd through Monday, February 5th. Now, if you absolutely cannot attend, we will have a virtual option. I want everyone to meet. I want everyone to get to know each other. You are going to listen in on the new curriculum that I'm going to be teaching, the concepts, you'll be able to do that. But if you can make it out in any capacity, even if it's just Saturday, February 3rd and Sunday, February 4th, and you can just make it for the weekend and then get back, you will absolutely not leave the same person. I guarantee that. I don't play when it comes to transforming people, even from the live event. Like you're going to know exactly what it is that you need to do. You're going to meet and bond and connect with your mastermind sisters. You're going to leave with decisions made. You're going to leave with a different self-concept. You're going to leave with headshots and B-roll for your social media so you can come back and like look like you already are making $1 million, right? Like this is what I want for you. This is what you're going to have by going to Mexico City. But again, if you absolutely cannot make it, it's fine. We will have a virtual option available for you. And it's a pretty, depending on where you're coming from, it's a pretty inexpensive time to travel to Mexico City. It's springtime, so it's beautiful, but it's like low season in terms of like the price. So like you could find hotels like right now for like $120 a night, and Airbnbs are even less. So I'm talking like US dollars. You're obviously paying in pesos, but it is stunning there. It is so beautiful. It's so green. There's so much to do. It's going to be amazing. Like I'm so excited. To recap, today on our episode, we talked about reclamation. We talked about how you don't need to do the most and how it is really for people who are, they're not type A. They don't necessarily have a ton of time. They don't want or need a big team. And it's okay to, be inconsistent. We also talked about what makes reclamation different. We talked about why thought leadership is at the center. We talked about the 5 main goals that Reclamation can help you with and how you probably fall into more than one. And then I just talked you through the application process so that you know exactly what to expect. And I just can't wait to talk to you. So schedule your call with me. Schedule your call with me. If you have watched me launch this 3 times, there is not going to be a good time. Because then when you think, okay, well then I'm going to do this and then I'm going to hit this goal and then I'm going to join, how you think you're going to hit it? Like, you need community. You need me to coach you. You can join lots of masterminds. Of course, you know what it is that you're looking for, but I really am going to be looking at each person individually and looking at like, what is it that is going to help you get where you want to go without following necessarily a cookie cutter approach, but taking the curriculum and kind of deciding what is going to help you the most out of that curriculum. The way that the curriculum works is not you follow it from beginning to end. It's that I will suggest to you, here's what I would focus on if I were you, based on your goals. I cannot wait to meet you. I can't wait to just learn more about you. Schedule the call by Friday, December 1st to get this bonus. This bonus is crazy. Like, this is so freaking good, you guys. Like, I am giving so much. There's just like no way. There's no way that you won't hit your goals. You just have to show up for it, right? And my clients are doing it. They're proof. So that is it. I am so excited to meet you. I'm so excited to talk to you. And I will see you inside Reclamation. I will see you at the live event. I will see you in the DMs if you have questions for me, or I will see you on a call really soon. All right, y'all. Talk to you soon.